actually took a break from TV for a while and went into video games and directed some cutscenes for video games because it was new.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about this.
Yeah, it was super awesome and new and fresh, and I learned a bunch.
And this was somewhat recently.
Yeah.
Far Cry.
Yeah, the first one I did was Watch Dogs at Ubisoft.
Yeah, Watch Dogs, right on.
And then I did Far Cry 6. And it was brilliant because I was the new guy, couldn't rely on my
bag of tricks.
But I could also bring that experience and all of the stuff we know from our business that's been around for 100 years to a very new business that kind of grew up in a bubble. Like I would tell my friends, like, I feel like because the budget was like $250 million, but it felt like, video
games, man.
I think that Legion Watch Dogs was $350 million.
Yeah, the new the new Grand Theft Auto is like $2 billion.
$2 billion.
Okay, so here, I'm glad you mentioned this because Andrew wanted to ask you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew's a gamer.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I
Me
play,
neither.
Tiger Woods golf, and that's the extent of it. I have no concept in my mind at all how you direct a video game.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. And I wasn't directing the video game. I was directing the cutscenes for the video game. So the cinematic cutscenes. The game, like, there's a whole raft of people, like thousands of people working on the game, and there's kind of that the gameplay is the most important, and that's a whole other thing. And then we're just telling the little stories that go in between the gameplay. Sometimes it's for exposition or character development, or a fun little. There should be a little treat for the player to set the controller down and watch a little movie for a second. And,
More and more games are becoming movies.
Yeah,
I mean, they're pretty impressive.
But when I went in for the interview, it just came randomly to me, like out of the blue. Went in for the interview, and I saw the game was like a James Bond movie. In fact, it was like 5 James Bond movies, and the technology was unbelievable. And I was just like, whoa, man! As a Canadian episodic film director, I'm never going to get to work on something with this kind of scale and scope. It's animated, but that'll be fun. And in the end, you work with actors and in the volume, and we had stunts and the whole bit. It's really, and I brought in Sean Jensen to do the camera work. It's fantastic. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it's a long gig. Like, I was there I put in about 3.5, 4 years. But it's 9 to 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 9 to 5 every day. Like, I'd never had that before in my life.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, it was a job. Like, I had my lunch kit and I went to work.
Oh my God.
I know, like never before in my life.
I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does it take so long? I know video games take a long time, and I'm picturing artists drawing and rendering and stuff. But in your neck of it,
well, because animation takes a long time, even
in general.
Yeah, even we were doing, performance capture, but still it has to all be polished and animated.
Yeah.
They have to animate the fingers and all of those things at the end. But I think, I came in, what I learned about video games compared to especially television, insanely wasteful. And that's why I think they cost so much money.
Oh, I see.
There's a lot. It's a software development mentality. As like our business is like this. It all sort of, there's a top and it all kind of flows down. Okay. And there it's silos. It's like a bunch of different, and they don't talk a lot. So there's
interesting.
Yeah. So for example, we'd be working on something for a week. My team of 30 people, and they don't. The scripts don't have asterisks when revisions come out.
Right.
Which I was like, I went to the head of the studio and said, I could save this company millions with one little thing, an asterisk. So people don't even read the scripts, so they don't know what's new.
Right.
And we would work on stuff, and I'd go to the scripts and go, holy crap, this is outdated. This isn't right at all. So we'd have to throw all that away. There's a lot of that going on.
Wow.
And I think, so it was great. I did bring some of our systems to, I remember having my very first day, I was like, okay, we got the scripts, we should have a concept meeting. And they're like, what's a concept meeting? And I was like, okay, here we go. And then I remember one was like, they were scheduling with a Excel sheet, and it was really clunky. And I was like, guys, there's this thing called a one-line schedule. And they're like, whoa, tell us about it. And I showed them, and they're like, oh my God.
Fascinating.
My wife kept saying, stop telling them that it's from, just go in and go, I had a dream last night about a thing. A one-line schedule.
You guys owe me.
So yeah, that part of it was exactly what I needed, was to feel like I was really contributing in a way
what you know.
Of what I know. Yeah. Whereas I felt like I was getting to a point in TV where I was feeling like, I was just kind of not mailing it in. I just don't know how to do that, but just kind of being a bit crushed by it. So it was great to sort of be free of that and actually be someone that my experience meant a lot to these people. So yeah, it was great.